Hey crew, what's popping? Luke here today, and we are recording a podcast and doing a video at the same time because I want to show you and teach you on how to own your brand in Google Images. And as you know, I'm here to help you close bigger, faster, and more easily. So every time I create content, is to help you do that in your business because if you're not closing bigger, faster, and more easily, you're slowing down, down, down. And if you have no client acquisition, you're not a business. So if that's not something you're working on daily, I want to help you do that. And by doing that, I'm documenting what we're doing here at the agency to make that happen. And I have found one of the biggest ways to close bigger, faster, and more easily is having something you can reference to. Like, for example, you can tell people you can conquer the world, but you haven't conquered your name in the search engines. People are not going to believe you. And it's like, Luke, why does that matter? It really does matter. If you cannot own your own name and own your own name, you should have zero competition owning your name, right? Now, there's some other people who have your name but may not be in your niche. But the fact is, if you can't even take over your own name, your own brand name, your own company name, you can't even own that. How are you going to help people own their niche if you're in the agency world like me? Or how are you going to help them get results if you can't get results for yourself? And this is just validation. This is a big question. And a nightmare for me happened a little bit ago. It's been a little bit since this happened, but she was 98% in the sales presentation. We're talking about 15K. She's excited, stoked. She believes it, loves it. Everything's in place. And then she's like, let me Google you. And we never heard back. And we drilled her to find out through follow up. She typed in something and it wasn't the right name, but there's nothing we could say to change her mind. She just thought it was all too good to be true and we was a hoax. All because she typed in the wrong thing. But from that day forward, I decided, you know what? I am going to flood the gates. I am going to do everything I can. When you type my name, I own it. And you're like, Luke, why is that important? Well, for example, let me show you. You type in Mark Cuban, for example, right here, okay? Mark Cuban. You type in his name, and he's got a Wikipedia. He's got his Twitter. He's got he's got his blog. He's got a Forbes, like all this stuff here. And he's absolutely owning it, right? He's owning it. He's got it. Mark Cuban, billionaire. I hope he's got it. Yeah, he's worth 4.1 billion. And a lot of it's due because what brought him a lot of credibility is his show. But Luke, I don't have a show. How can I own my name? All right, you have Bill Gates, right? You got Bill Gates. You type in Bill Gates, and then you see Bill Gates, and same thing. Well, Luke, these people are famous. They can do that, right? They can absolutely do that. Sure, I get that. And also, when you go to Google Images here, it's just his face. His face, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Bill Gates. Like, there's only one Bill Gates, just flooded. So it's a really big deal. And same thing with Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett. I type in Warren Buffett here, okay. Same thing, right? Same thing. And he's got a lot of news on him. Yeah, he's big with public relations, and he just hits it big. He's a CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, and he's just boom, like he just owns it. How this is important, right? People, you have no doubt Warren Buffett's legit. You have no disagreement that Mark Cuban, because you type these guys' names in, you've heard them, that they have built credibility. But Luke, I don't own a show. I'm not super rich. I'm not a billionaire. Luke, I'm just a normal person with a business. How can I do the same? Let me show you with me what I've done. Let me type in my name, Luke Guy, right? So I type in my name, Luke Guy. I do not have a Google panel on me yet. I'm working on that. But when you type in my name, Luke Guy, you see that I do own it pretty much all the way down. Okay, not all the way down. I'm working. And then when you type in my name, I own majority of the images so far, and that's not easy to do, believe it or not, because there's other people who have that same name. And Luke Guy, you understand, Guy, there's what, 4 billion people in the world who technically are guys, so that's something else I'm having to compete with. But like every day I'm taking like screenshots almost of how many, because I want to own this. Like there's a guy named Luke Guy Reed. And I'm doing everything, and we're doing good. I mean, we're doing good here. But when you go down, I'm just not happy because it's not, and you see me even down, down, down. You'll see me. I'm not happy about this. I want every single picture to be me. But as you can see, I'm ahead of most people watching this right here. I'm ahead of most people, and even the videos here is people talking about me. So I mean, I'm doing it's good so far, and you can see my Twitter's popping up. See, so it's things are happening. Things are definitely happening, and I want to show you what I've done so far because I want to document and I want to show you what in the world are we doing. So first of all, when you go to lukeguy.com, lukeguy.com, I own my name. And I have lots of pictures of me. People think I'm full of myself, and that's why I'm doing this. No, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm not Mr. Instagrammer here trying to be a model. I definitely am no model, right? Even though it does look like that here, even though those colors look great, that's not. There's my team there. We're writing blog posts here. All this is about credibility, y'all. All this is about credibility. That's it. I don't want to be famous. I don't want the headaches of being famous. This doesn't make you famous. What I'm trying to do is let Google know. And if you look at the bottom here, I've got all these links on here. This is one reason the searches are popping up. And when you go to my Instagram here, I've got 14,000 followers, and that's kind of low for my world. But anyway, my likes. I'm trying to pick up my likes, right? And I got to get into Instagram. It's just so many things to do, y'all. So many things. But look, here's my point. I've got a link here back to my site. I got a link here back to my site, and that's very, very, very important when everything is linked back together. I find out that Medium, okay, the Medium blog thing you can do out there is huge, and that helps us on the Google world. And I have my assistant helps me. I write an email. I try to write an email every day. I try. And what she does is she takes those emails and then turns them to Medium. She turns them into blog posts. And here's a picture of me, and I make sure to put alt text in that. And then she takes my email and pastes it, right? So whenever she does that and we put a picture of me down, it helps me to own the Google images. And believe me, owning Google images is not easy to do for whatever reason, unless you have this weird name. Now here's Twitter, all right? And what I like to do with Twitter is I like to post pictures of me in there, because I find when you post pictures of you and in your profile you link back to you, you're letting Google know this is me, and you're helping Google with the puzzle. And I put this, I am the monkey and the barrel champion. Here's a picture of me, me playing monkey in the barrel with my kids. And, I'm just trying to be, I'm trying to speak to the search engines and to the public at the same time. And these pictures, I find when you put it on Twitter, it helps you own your name, which is really cool. So for those who are listening right now, pretty much what I'm doing is I'm posting pictures on my Twitter. I'm posting pictures in Medium on my blog, and this is some things I'm doing to own the Google images, which is very, very, very important to do if you want to own that part and own your name. Because I'm gonna tell you something. One day someone's gonna come along with your name and then own you, okay, and own you. And I prefer to put the power behind my name instead of my brand name, my company name, which is important too. But I find if I ever change companies, the brand power still goes with me, right? It's still behind me, because I always can be me. And I'm always going to talk about similar things. And that's why my strategy is to talk about business related things and business, helping and client acquisition. So that way, if I ever have to change niches, what I'm talking about is still the same. So I've got niche down companies that brings in the profit, but I'm building a brand. So when my closers point to me, it's good. Like it's here's Luke Guy, and one day when I get 100,000 followers on a certain platform, oh look, here's Luke, he's got 100,000 followers, and it helps with conversions with machines that's already converting. And let's see here, right? And my website is pointing back to my website. That's funny. So and then I have these blog posts that I write. These websites. Here's a blog post here. And by the way, if you want to see what I'm talking about here today, go to lukeguy.com. You should be able to see more content on what I'm talking about today. And we actually anytime you see a post or a blog or a video, you can always go back to lukeguy.com to get more details on what we're talking about today, to get more visuals. So I wrote this about Luke Guy's secret to focus and momentum. And literally, it's not much of a post, but I do have pictures of me because, once again, I am trying to own the Google images, so I am owning my brand. Because here's the thing. If you are telling the world you can help them with results, but yet you don't even own your own name, you don't even own your own turf, how in the world can you help them own their turf? Because their goal is to be number one, and if you're not even number one for your own brand name and company name, what in the world? How can you help them? You can't help them if you can't even help yourself. And this is why this is very, very important, because I don't want you to make the $15,000. And just telling how much this has cost me not figuring this out and doing this. So that's why I'm telling you today. And Luke, you're like, well, Luke, creating content every day is so hard. How do you create content on a daily basis? How do you do that? And for example, I will go into search engines like YouTube and all these different places and type in things that I would want to see. And if the content's weak or I really can't find anything, that's what gives me ideas. And I feel like there's not, like even today's video, helping you to rank for Google Images, there's not a ton of good content around this. So I'm hoping I can push it strong enough to where it will push to the top and this piece of content will rank for itself. So the strategies within the strategy here, even as I help you. And other things I'm doing, like, let's see, Luke Guy, Anchor. Well, let's do the Luke Guy show, okay? So another thing I'm doing is I have a podcast here. In fact, I need to put that on my website, actually. But here is what I call the Luke Guy show. This is the Luke Guy show, and I have to do more distribution. I need to hook up this feed to more to Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all that. I need to push that more, so that way, in itself, it's pushing out my stuff. Because right now, this is a video, and it's a podcast right now as you're listening, because I want to own both worlds. And sometimes I'll create content just for podcasts, so that way it's more to that. And sometimes I'll do something just for video, right? But in my situation, in my time right now, I like this distribution method, and that way I can help those who want to. Because, with Alexa at Amazon, they got these glasses coming out. They've got, 100 million pieces of Alexas out there. People are listening to more and more audio. Visual's taking over, and people are doing more audio, and that's why I'm really trying to get to the Anchor game, Anchor.fm, where I'm releasing my podcast. It's supposed to distribute, across the web, and I'm really pushing audio as well. And it's just about, Luke, but how do you know what to say? You're not a Dr. Phil. You're not a Dave Ramsey. You're not as entertaining as these guys. Well, you're right. They find people to think are stupid and put them on the show, and they argue back and forth, and that's something that I'm not doing. But I am trying to be as helpful and as valuable to you as I can. And I know every day that I do this, I'm only going to get better and better and better. And it may take me 2 years before I even become like edgy and I dialed into my niche specifically for content. I have businesses I've dialed into niches and they're making money. But when it comes to content, it is so hard to do this every day when you're not getting paid directly and it's fast. I could push an ad today and within 2 days get paid for that ad and make money. Content building, creating, it can take months and months and months before you even see a fruit from it. So indirectly, though, I am building this content to help those niches who are watching me. And for those who are with me here now, listening to me, can understand I can help them. I just realized when you bring more value to the world, it will change things. So the secret to owning Google Images and to owning your name in the search engines is daily content through email, podcasts, and video and pictures. Mass distribute the podcast video, and just think, I like to start out with an email, and a good place that I like to write my emails, and this is, I don't get paid anything to say this, convertkit.com is where I write my emails. I feel like it's the easiest place to write an email to me, and I like using it. I've used all kind of email platforms, and I like ConvertKit the most. I need to do a shout out to them. I mentioned that I referred them in this. On Twitter. So that's what I have here. I like to start off in ConvertKit first thing in the morning when I'm fresh, my mind is not burnt out, type up a piece, and then I like to build a video, a podcast, and all these things from that. And one thing too, here's something secret. How about this? Check this out. Okay, so Twitter.com, for example, you'll see these little posts here where I come out with these lines here, right? And obviously I don't have too much engagement on my Twitter because I'm not investing much money into it. But what I am doing with it, because a lot of you are at this place here to where you're like, well, Luke, why do I tweet? Why do I do these things? No one's seeing it. Well, my virtual assistant is looking over this stuff, and she's turning these into pieces. Literally for a few bucks, I can get major engagement on these posts and make me look like a celebrity. But my focus right now is I'm building a system so my assistant can see these Twitters here and turn those into content pieces, like I did yesterday. I'll show you. I'll show you this. Let me show you. Let's see if I can find it. May not be on here. I may need to. We're actually working on a post, and I don't think it's even came out yet. So I need to publish. I'm glad I said that. So what we're doing is but I'll show you what we're doing. We'll turn that. So for example, she'll take those quotes I said on Twitter and then turn those into this. She'll turn those into pictures like this, into quotes, and it's just content that is creating content, right? Here's another one of me, and actually the other day I took more pictures, so she has more content instead of saying pictures, and we turned those into podcast covers. And this picture right here has actually ranking now, actually, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, guys, I just want to bring that to you here, and hopefully this gives you a ton of ideas. You know, at first it's about owning your name. Worry about being a celebrity later. Right now, focus on owning your name and pushing content so you can sell high ticket from it. And then when your content gets really good, it will become its own little, organism. It will become something that's breathing and living. You have your own community. But I say just love to create just because you love to create, and the rest of it. And for those who fall in love with this process, it will pay off later. So hopefully today this has helped you a ton, and hopefully this has helped you on your journey and convert high ticket stuff. So that way you start with high ticket and then you work you down to low ticket. Just because low ticket, that's where your B&L companies are at. So besides like Berkshire and companies like that. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Luke out here today, helping you close bigger, faster, and more easily by turning your business into a marketing laboratory. Thanks so much. Let's talk soon, and have a great day.